I've always been on the fence that Final Fantasy XVI development is going nicely, smooth, and really quiet. The Final Fantasy XVI Reveal Awakening trailer was shown in a PS5 State of Play back in September of 2020. We're like 5 months away from being 2 years without any gameplay. Now listen, I don't care about delays and stuff like that, but the reason why I'm worried is because everybody else is, okay? Look, I can hit y'all with the Miyamoto quote. A delayed game is a... You know what? I ain't gonna hit y'all with a Miyamoto quote. I'm gonna hit you with a Yaya quote, bro. Delay the game. Make the game fire. If you delay the game and you make it the best it can be, we'll be happy in the end. There's that. For people who don't know, Final Fantasy XVI went through some tad developmental struggles because of COVID in 2021. Remember this message from Naoki Yoshida on late December of 2021, which stated, "When we last spoke, I promised I would have more information on Final Fantasy XVI sometime later in 2021. However, I regret to inform you that I will be unable to keep that promise as complications stemming from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic have delayed the game's development by almost a half a year." So assuming this was written on December 26, 2021 and released the same day, we most likely won't see anything from Final Fantasy XVI until potentially either, being optimistic, late spring 2022 or somewhere in either early summer or even potentially fall of this year.
Bullshit.
Okay, spring in Japan, I believe, is from March to May. And if y'all haven't been paying attention, we're like almost a week away from being into May, you know? It's kind of... This is where I'm also kind of worrisome about how they're going to communicate information to us about the game. But I'm not going to lie, Square Enix has dropped a lot of bangers in the pandemic, in my personal opinion. I know developers are either not saying release dates because they just don't want to make a big fuss or hassle about it and people just headline it as the game's getting delayed again or something like that. But a game that done that recently was Splatoon 3. I promise you Splatoon 3 is supposed to come out either like early summer, but now it got pushed back once they gave us the actual concrete release date, September of 2022. So rather than just going through the fuss of saying the game got delayed again, I just feel like just give us when you think the game's ready, drop the trailer, put the release date in there, and go on without your day. See, I have this big misconception that a lot of Square Enix games that are not favorable or get hated on is about the amount of time people wait for the game and seeing the delays. Because in recent years, let's use Final Fantasy XV for example, people don't really strongly believe in that concept with a lot of Square Enix games. Like, just because you delay a game with Square Enix, some people are like, oh my god, that don't mean it's still gonna be good. And then like with this game, I'm so tired of seeing every event people think they're gonna have Final Fantasy 16 there. You really think they're gonna put Final Fantasy 16 at the future game show?
I hope so.
Okay.
But here's the good news. I strongly feel like the next time we see Final Fantasy 16 is the next time we will know when the game's coming out. This development team is the ghost behind Final Fantasy XIV, Naoki Yoshida, the guy that I will say in quotations is known for saving Final Fantasy XIV. We honestly have nothing to be afraid of here. Now that Strangers of Paradise, Endwalker, and I think the update to Final Fantasy XIV is out, I assume that Yoshi P thinks that it's finally safe to talk about Final Fantasy XVI without stealing away from other Final Fantasy titles and Square Enix properties. I think it'll be out sooner rather than later. Definitely before I guess the next Final Fantasy XIV update is out. Listen, I don't even play the game yet. I just follow too many people who do. Also, there was a t-shirt listing for all the Final Fantasy games with a new Final Fantasy XVI logo on the shirt. If anything, and for all people going cloud mode over no news on Final Fantasy XVI, we're almost going on 2 years without news, so I can understand the pain. I understand. I get y'all. It might be coming sometime from after this video to the next month or so. I feel the disturbance in the force. So that being said, I want y'all to drop when you think Final Fantasy 16 is coming out, or better yet, tell me when you think we'll get news on this game. Honestly, I talked with some homies. I can see a Square Enix Presents coming out in the next month or two, maybe 3 if we're lucky, right? Or for Final Fantasy 16. I think that would be something that'll potentially happen, or some huge blowout. Again, Worst case scenario is that we don't get any news till probably Jump Festa or Tokyo Game Show, because that's when they go crazy there. And I know they want to go crazy at those events. So that being said, follow me on Twitter at AvatarYaya_. And remember, you guys are golden, stay blessed, drink water, and that is raw. Squala, peace, and I'm out.
I've been the devil, I need me an arc in the water. I'm breathing, I feel like Tanjiro. Walking this bitch with a sound pop, while she rock it, I keep me a domino. Bitch, on my dick, man, I feel like Kazaki. Stretching that pussy out like it's Pilates. I'm snatching the soul like right out of a body. Fire, I'm spitting, I feel like Dobby. White bitch, blonde hair, looking like Lucy. She from Kyoshi, I paint her face Suki.